Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen. I am so stoked to walk you through this track. I'm really thrilled with how it turned out. I made this one after I watched the Daft Punk documentary and just got obsessed with the guitar tones that they had in Random Access Memories. And I was like, I gotta make a funky toe tapping track just like that, baby. So this is my best attempt. Welcome to the project file of With You. I named it My House after Daft Punk is playing in my house, my house. So I usually arrange all my sessions like this: drums, instruments, bass, guitar, FX, and vocals. So I figure what I'll do is we'll go through section by section, and I'll go through group by group, break down each one of my tracks, touch a little on the processing of each, and give you some of my secrets along the way, baby. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. We'll play the intro and a little bit of the first verse, and we'll take it from there, baby. So yeah, you get the idea there. Really fun, kind of bouncy guitar-driven tune. 4 on the floor. What's new? It's Page Turner. 4 on the floor. Speaking of 4 on the floor, let's just jump right into the drums. So obviously we got a big driving kick here. Might help to solo it. Some clipping, some EQ. Probably not a whole lot. Just taking out some of the highs. A little EQ4 and a limiter. Pretty basic stuff there on the kick channel. I always leave that separate from the rest of my drums so I can send that stem to the master. And then on the snare group, I always love doing just one snare in the middle, and then on every other, clap hard left and hard right. I think it just gives it so much more character. Pretty basic stuff there, but it just keeps it a little more interesting than just having the same snare going over and over and over. Then I have some snaps that come in the break, which we'll get to in a little bit. But really, this all kind of started with just this little fun loop. I do some pretty basic automation. Just make that hi-hat jump around a little bit. I think it also has this fun little thing. Yeah, it's a fun little fill in the beginning. Pa-ta-ta-ta-ta. Yes, sir. Little fill later here before the drop. Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. Ooh, 80s just punch into the face, baby. You gotta love it. Then just a sidechain trigger right here. Oh, yeah. And then we get down into the perks section. This probably should actually be up here. This is the reverse reverb tail trick that you do with your snares. So it swoops in. Again, it makes it just more interesting. But this perk section starts to get pretty fun kind of right around here. So we'll just solo all the perks. Ooh. Ooh. Pretty tasty. Pretty tasty. And, just lazily loops thrown in there. Why not? Probably just directly from Splice. Not much work on them. Let's see what they are. A little triangle on the right. Some bongos on the left. And then with my shakers, I also like doing the center, left, hard, right. And usually, yeah, here we go. I like to put a little bit of overdrive. Just make them nice and crispy. And I stole this trick from Virtual Right. He throws auto pans on like everything, but it just makes them a little tighter. So here, check it out. Yep. So we go all the way up. It just makes it really choppy. Just makes it more interesting, And what do we got down here? Just a couple little clicks. Just little tiny stuff. And I'll play it all in context once you hear it. And then I have this same crash going in a ton of spots. But I do different things to automate it every now and then just to keep it unique. So, like, what do we have here? Yeah, bringing in the phaser, baby. And then what about on this one? Just some more auto pan just to keep things interesting. And then really, with the drums, I'm going to say, you want to do this, you want to do that? This is just how I do it. Take it or leave it, but this is how I do it. I like to let the drum section build, so adding more elements. So in the beginning, it's pretty basic. It's just kind of this loop and the snare and kick. couple perks here, but then as the sections add, now we have this section here, and then this section comes in. Now we add these, now we add all the rides and all the shakers, and it just, let me make sure I'm at, we're good. It just makes it just build more, just add more elements as it goes on. But anyways, in this ride section area, a little trick I stole from It's Murph, here you'll be able to hear it. This ride comes in on every kick, but then we're coming to a build-up. Just a little thing to add tension as you're coming to the end of a phrase. And then we also add this offbeat hat, which, another trick to add more tension, baby. Stole that one from Barry Can't Swim. But, together, it helps you not really need, like, just a cheesy riser, even though I have a ton of them in this track. But together, it just helps add tension. We'll just go here. Helps add tension. And then the last thing in the drums is just this open hat. Same one I use all the freaking time because I love it. So now that you've heard them all, let's play them again. I'll just solo the group, and we'll kind of go from, let's go right here. Ooh! When the drums are just bouncing like that, I love starting with drums, and sometimes I overdo it because I start to put a lot in and there's not much room for anything else. But the drums just get me freaking going. Just sitting here listening to my own little drum loop. But yeah, that's the drum section. So pretty straightforward. Oh, another trick I like. I throw this processing on like all of my entire drum bus. It's basically just this group of a decapitator. Just mix it about halfway, driven pretty hard into this drum bus here. Settings you can kind of see, and then into a clipper and a limiter, and it just adds so much more. It's like, here, we can solo it without. Let's see here. Without, with. Just gives it a lot more like crispiness and nice sibilance. Just dances on the tongue. So, yep, there's the drums. And now let's check out the instruments, which, in this track, they're pretty basic. It's a piano. Pretty basic stuff there. Nice little pad to fill in a lot of those kind of gaps. Nice and swirly. And then this is kind of the main instrument, this Dusty Rhodes. Then, what is that? The redux that I love on this is, I think it's called A Bit of Dust. I think. Some dust. Yeah, I throw this on like everything. It's already on it, but it's just frozen. I love this redux. It's like super subtle and tasteful, and it just makes it cut through the mix so well. So again, a pretty basic instrument section. There's a couple more that come later in the track, which we'll get to, but there's actually one more. There's this fun little arp right here. And that's just a super basic serum patch going into an arpeggiator. But I love these format filters lately. It just adds a lot of character into the sound. So yeah, super basic ARP, but just a couple instruments and then a couple more later in the drop. But I think they sound pretty good together. You don't need much else. Bring in the ARP. Because really this track is based around the guitar. But before we get there, we got to hit the bass, baby. So I actually played this whole bass line on my beautiful Fender bass. Just a Fender freaking whore over here. God, do I love their stuff. And then I really went in and tweaked this hard. I saw an It's Murph video where he was saying he goes in and, for example, manually side chains everything. It's like you make a clip and then like manually side chains everything in addition to using a sidechain tool. So this is all like, frozen and flattened, yeah, and then reprinted. But I went through and did that on every single one in addition to using Kickstart just to make that kick really punch through in the gaps of the bass. But here's the bass line I played. Let's give it a listen. And I really suck at playing bass. So like all these little things you hear here. Oops. Dun, 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 dun. Like I played those so poorly in real time, but the beauty of Ableton, I just moved it right to where I wanted. Just freaking and just set it right in there and just nice and crispy. And then, you know, if I'm being honest, this song doesn't really have like that kind of sub that hits, but I'm okay with it since it's not really like a club track and like a big dance track. But the bass felt like it was missing a little something to me. So I resampled the entire bass line and threw a decapitator on it on punish mode and drove it really hard and then just resampled all of it. And that's now this bass fuzz channel. And then I drove it even harder again once it was on here. Turn these track spacers off to save some CPU. Then even threw some micro shift on it to widen it. And then I think I just cut out all the lows. Yeah, so it's just really here in this mid-range to add some texture. And here that is on its own. Really like Tame Impala-y kind of growly bass. So then together, it sounds a little harsh together when you solo them, but... And let's solo the drums with it too, just to get that bounce, baby. Oh yeah, that'll do. So yeah, huge Tame Impala fan. So love that really overdriven bass that he has, and there's just a couple other actually one little bass fill later in the drop that we'll get to. But now the crown jewel of this track are the guitars, and again, really wanted to go for like a Lose Yourself to Dance or Get Lucky kind of. And I'm not the best player, but I was happy with how this turned out. So let's just listen to it. And then call and response. So yeah, it goes to that. Into that call and response of made them into two separate groups for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm pretty sure they have like the exact same processing, but again, hard left, hard right, center. You know, so you just hear it in the center. It sounds pretty. It sounds fine. But then, you know, once you have it center, left, and right. I cut that out pretty hard there because there's this kind of moment of silence in the track right there. So it usually doesn't end like that, but it does a hard cut. So looking at the processing, we've got UA. Oh, what is that? That's the LA2 and the 1176 on just a little guitar shine preset right there. Maybe really grease her up and let her shine. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing on this thing. Some EQ, very basic, soothe, and then I freaking love Little Radiator on guitars. It just adds such a nice warmth to it. I sound like such an analog dork. They're so nice and warm. The tone, the warm round tone of the Stratocaster, dude. Oh, I'm a dork. All right, and some light decapitator. What's new? And oh my God, I was so obsessed with this pedal. I think I got this plugin right when I made this track, and I was like, oh, the phaser DDL and everything. It's so sick. So, oh yeah, and the Moog EQ4. I threw it on everything on here. Just freaking cranking the air gain on this to brighten those up. So don't try that at home. And then what else do we have here? Let's turn that track spacer off too, just to save CPU so you don't glitch. And then just some automated filters throughout the track. But the guitar, I plug into a MXR compressor, into a blues driver, and then into a diamond vibrato pedal just to give it that nice, gentle wiggle, baby. And you might be asking yourself, wow, Anthony, that sounds very similar to Kevin Packa's pedal board. And what are the chances of that? So yeah, that's the guitars. This is the response section. This is also this little kind of fun transition guitar here. Yep, so there's the guitars, nice and fun. And then the effects section is pretty basic. It's mostly in the intro here, but we'll just solo it and show you what we got. Nice vinyl crackle there. little atmosphere, reverse harp. But yeah, it's this. I actually kind of like this one. So this is just a harp that I had found on Splice that then I just reversed, and I was like, oh, that'd be a sick riser. And then just cut that last part off, and boom, baby, you got a stew going. Yeah, and just some nice vinyl crackle. I use this a ton throughout the track too. So you'll see me a lot do the basically resample something, throw reverb on it, maybe even throw OTT on it, whatever other pedals or plugins you want on it, and then just resample that reverb tail. And I do that a lot. It's like this is just my voice. I got sound I made. Here it is. And it just, instead of adding new elements, just like throwing stuff in from Splice, just resample so many of the elements that you already have. Throw different plugins on them, stretch them, warp them, pitch, jump the pitch around. There's so many options. So like this is the ARP that I showed you earlier. It's just a resample of that reversed. And then it just makes your track sound so much more glued together sonically, since it's a lot of the same elements that then you're just really repurposing throughout the track. So pretty basic FX. There's some more fun stuff going on later, which we'll get to. But last main group here are the vocals. So let's solo them, huh?
Dance with you. I just wanna with you. Do you feel it too?
See, a lot of processing on there to really brighten those guys up, because I never really sing on any of my tracks, and like probably everyone else on planet Earth, I think I have a lame singing voice. So tried going with this like falsetto tone, and just we'll go through the processing here in a little bit, but without the processing, that's a little embarrassing. But here it is to AB.
Dance with you. I just wanna with you.
Pretty nasally, but when you drench it in reverb and you add some processing, which we're going to walk through here, I think it sounds pretty good. So pretty similar to the guitar. I'm going to the LA2, 1176, and then I forget the guy's name. I think his name's Connor Dalton. He has a really great Instagram channel for mastering, and his thing is always do, what do you call it, like subtractive EQ or corrective EQ before you start boosting stuff. So I probably like lazily did, actually look at that. Did some pretty intense EQing there. And then throw it into Soothe, and then you can really boost it from there. So I even de-essed it there. But then here is where you add all those high elements and just really boost that high end of the vocal. And when you have that like whispery, kind of sexy tone, it just sounds so good when you boost those highs on it. So start with OTT, go into gem dopamine, do a little EQ to get rid of the lows. I actually don't think this R bass is doing anything. But then another, what do you know, Mog EQ4 just absolutely obliterating the highs on this one. So this, I'm not a salesman for this plugin, but my God, every vocal I've thrown it on and just boosted the air gain at like 2.5 or 5K, it just is, you're like, whoa, that is freaking sick. So go buy that. It is worth every penny. I pretty much throw it on everything these days. And then just a little bit of decapitator mix, not all the way onto the wet. And then some side chain. And then I believe these just kind of, a lot of these kind of automate in and out just to add variety in different spots. So that's really the track. And now that you've seen all those sections together, let's go ahead and just play the verse.
Dance with you. I just wanna with you. Do you feel it too? 'Cause I just wanna with you. And I waited so long. And I just wanna. And I can feel it tonight.
A freaking solo right there. Someone melting faces with a riffaroni pie. But in this track, I also got really obsessed with like making these kind of hard cuts to silence, and I really love this one here. So it's like all the drums cut out right there. I believe a lot of this mutes, and the first thing that comes in is this like guitar pluck. So it's like this hard cut to silence.
I just wanna, I can feel it.
It's just so satisfying when everything cuts out for just like a short second. You're like, huh? Oh, it did come back on. What are the chances? So yeah, that stuff just fires me up. So yeah, really happy with that main verse. It's a pretty basic song structure. Part A, part B, build up back into a kind of part A thing. Let's check out the solo and the break.
With you.
So pretty basic section. Fun stuff is just, I don't know, that absolutely shredding solo. I was happy that it turned out, but yeah, this one's just one channel, but did a little Haas, Wim Hof breathing exercise. No, what do you call it? The Haas effect, just to add some width. Without width. But yeah, you can really push this and make it sound super wide. I think I also do some fun. What is this one? Oh yeah, did a nice little echo trick there on, and again, resampling my own vocals. Just basically resample this whole stack right here, and then just put a huge echo on it. So yeah, we'll just solo this, and we'll solo that, so you can kind of hear it. It's another super Tame Impala-y trick, just getting pretty psychedelic, getting that echo trailed out there, but it felt a little too present to me, so I really pumped the side chain on it, and then also threw that 16th note auto pan on it just to kind of push it back in the mix a little bit. It's like in context, you can't really hear it, but these little things add up on the track, and I finished this track in like a weekend. I had the idea down. I had nothing going on that weekend. I was so pumped on Friday when I had the first idea that I just finished it in a weekend. And then for months, I was just like, it's missing something here. It's missing something there. And just like a mad scientist, I was resampling everything and throwing everything through different plugins. But I think it adds a ton. It's like, here it is in context. It's like the guitar really comes in and pushes it back. But I think it helps just add that tiny little transition into the guitar. And it's like, you do this over and over and you add all these little elements, then it's almost worth tweaking things. Like I get the theory of just like finish it and move on and you gotta crank out tracks, but who freaking cares, man? Do whatever you want to do. Oh, is my boss in here? Is my manager? I didn't freaking think so, okay? I call the shots around here. All right, that's probably way too long into the sick echo effect that I use there. But yeah, once we get through the solo, we get into a break, and we'll just kind of play that out, and we'll go from there and talk more about that, the build-up.
Because the night is ours to fill. But you ain't got nothing but tears.
And I'm such a tease not giving you the drop. But let's talk a little bit about the build-up. There's a couple things that I did in here that I really liked. And again, big cut to silence right here. I just love that. It just gives you that second of huh. It's just so satisfying. But again, here is another resample of my vocals, and this is on 100% dry wet on the delay, but I really thought this is cool. So I automate the format of this down. Oops, let's re-enable that. I automate this down every delay hit. So every next delay has much lower format, and I just swung it hard over to the left on the delay. So you hear this. Actually, it helps to hear it in context with the other vocals. And again, it's something like super subtle. Like you hear it in context. Right into that cut to silence. You know, 99% of people aren't going to hear that. But every time I listen to this track back, I always go, feel, feel, feel. And I love it. And I think that's all that matters, right? So fun little trick there. Just some basic atmosphere. Just adding some harmonic elements in here. You know, we got that, what do we call that again? The vinyl crackle again. And then at the build up to the drop, I automate a lot on down here. I thought I had Endless Smile on here. But basically, I automate down the volume. Actually, I bring it back up right there for the drop. I automate down the width, and then I'll show you what I do with my voice right here to bring that width back in when my voice comes in. I think it's sweet. Automate in a flanger, but then cut it out right at this section right here where I'll play for you in a second. And then I think that's it on that automation there, because the other automation is on my vocal channel that I do with, here, I'll just play it and you'll hear it. We don't want to just listen to that.
You ain't got nothing but tears.
Oh, I was so stoked on that. So it's pretty basic, but I'm automating in, I think, some little micro shifts. So making it super wide. You can see that going into full dry wet right there. Automating the formant down. So you basically, on the master channel, I'm making it really narrow with this. So we're at like 60% width on that utility, but then we go back up to 100, and this section right here is just that vocal. So it goes like really narrow to really wide, and then just poof, into the drop, and poof into the drop, dude. Oh, sick. Oh, I'm a tool, but freaking A, it's fun. So let's have some fun, huh? Yeah, let's talk about what else is in the drop here. So I just kind of repeat a lot of the vocals here, but I chop them up actually, and chop is the word of the day in this second drop, because in the build-up, I actually do this like finger plucking section right here. So then I use that, and I think I use these too. No, that's just another section kind of to the build-up. Basically, I took this section right here, resampled it, and that is now this purple section that you see. And then I just chopped it all up. Just went through, found pieces I liked, made them into their own clip, and then just dragged it and dropped it how I liked it. And then also resampled the instrument section above, which is that blue section up here. So resampled all the instruments, and then chopped them up to sit underneath the guitar. So the second drop, it's not just kind of like right back into what you already heard. It's basically a section of this kind of weird choppiness, which I'll play for you here. And then I chopped up the vocals down here too, and kind of do these hard cuts where I cut out the I think I cut out the reverb down here, and I'll show you how I do my reverb sends and returns. But here's the chops in context with the vocals. See, I thought that was cool. But while I'm talking about it, you got to do your reverbs on sends. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff here, but my whole bus is going into this this reverb. I use this on like every vocal. This preset sounds so good. And then you just sidechain it to itself. So you can... So it's ducking the reverb whenever your vocal comes in, and it helps your vocal just really pop through and not get drowned out by reverb. Pretty basic stuff there, but you never know what people might find a nugget and what some people might think is a dump it, man. I don't know where that came from, but hey, we're all in different parts of our journey, okay? We're all just figuring it out. And this is Philosophy Hour with Paige Turner. Turn up your dials. So, back to the track. So, yeah, that's this choppy section, and then we really go back into kind of like this A-B, same kind of call and response guitar that we had earlier. But I love, again, do a lot of hard cuts with the drums here. So, you know, instead of me talking about it, we'll just kind of play it and see if anything jumps out that I want to talk about. I can feel it tonight with you. reminded of a couple other things I want to talk about. So again, all these like hard cuts, you know, I just they're just so much more fun and interesting. So like, so that's just a really basic just serum patch here. I probably just made it on the spot while I was making this track, but yeah, just super basic. You know, that's like the first patch we all learned how to make, and we're like, "Oh, I'm Lewis the Child," yeah, or at least that's how it was for me. And then just, you know, kind of response with this little bass donk. Yeah, dude, who doesn't want that pool donk? Just don't. Again, super basic patch, but hey, whatever, man. It works. So nice little cutout right there again. So we'll just play the master there. And yep, another cut right there. And then what do you know? Fill that in with my little vocal. Told you I use it in a lot of spots. And then on that part, another section here. Resample a little piece of the vocal. Super basic, but then that comes in, and this verse line right here is, because the night is ours to fill. And this just kind of leads into that. So in context, you got, because the night is ours to again, no one's like ever going to hear that. But when I did that, I was like, oh, that is just a piece it was missing. Oh, my magnum opus. So yeah, that's that, but here it is in context. God, do I love that fill right there. So we have this nice filter sweep on all these channels with some nice resonance here. So let's see. Yeah, we come in here. And I just copied that to all the other channels. And then it really, all the drums cut out. And then it's just this ride right here and the kick. And I think it sounds so cool together. No, I didn't solo the ride. And then just to make it even more fun, automate on this this flanger right here just for that first hit, just for that ride right there. So it has this nice filter sweep coming into it, and then just a cha. So here it is with everything in it. And again, it's got that this dry wet trick on the hi-hat again. So this hi-hat is even leading into that part. And then cuts out, and then it's just silence again for that kick and ride. And then just bring it right in. Just reverse something and bring it in, man. Just bring it in. The people want it. Just freaking give it to them, man. God. Ah, it gets me so fired up, dude. And any other last little nuggets? Yeah, another little reverse random vocal thing here. It just, all that little stuff adds together. And then now that you see all that stuff, now you see all this. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap on the track breakdown of With You, baby. I'm talking about you. But no, I had fun with this. Everyone loves their own brand, and I'll talk all frickin' day, which, as you guys can see, is what I've been doing about it. But I'm super pumped on this one. It's a little different than my usual style, but again, it was just so inspired by like Daft Punk and Parcels and that super rhythmy guitar. I was just so stoked with how this one came about, and it's about wanting to dance with that special little someone. Just get that booty on the dance floor, baby. But hope you guys enjoyed this. That's a little peek into the world of Page Turner. And yeah, I'll probably start doing more of these for my other tracks. Got a couple more coming up. But this little number is coming out in October, I believe on the 24th. So go ahead and smash that pre-save link. It would actually help a lot. Helps the algo. And that's the only reason I make music is to please the algo. But if you guys dig it, vibe with it, let me know. If you hate it, screw it. Let me know. And I'll see you in the parking lot. Nah. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Hope you guys rock with the track. All right. PT.